Hello everyone, Time Dazzler here. Today I'm going to be doing an update on my Stamina Warden build. So we did not do a build video for Ratstone, primarily because it was just the racial changes that was happening. Where with Elsweyr, there's a lot of changes to Stamina Warden that we need to talk about. So let's start with the races, since that's what we skipped, since I didn't do a video on that. So we've changed from Red Guard to Orc, primarily because Orc gains a lot of weapon damage now, and it also has good sustain with the reduced sprint cost and increased movement speed. The two best races, so I want to start by saying that like all races are viable now. All of them are A tier. There's two in particular that I would say are S tier, and that is Orc and Nord. If you want to be... Orc is better in terms of surviving from bleeds. So Orc gives you 258 weapon damage and 2k stamina. Where Nord, on the other hand, even though you get the extra resist, you don't get that bleed. You don't get that extra healing from the weapon damage. All you get is that 4k resist. And bleeds go through resist. So Orc is better when dealing with bleeds, Nord is better when dealing with direct damage. I would say those two races are the best. I would definitely recommend those two. Red Guard is not bad, it's just that we're not using a whole lot of weapon abilities, and the dual wield skill was changed recently, that it's had a stamina cost reduction in Elsweyr anyways, so you don't really need that weapon cost reduction anyways, and we're not using any weapon ultimates. I haven't used a weapon ultimate in a very long time. So the race I would recommend is Orc. Also, I like the Orc passive that gives you healing when you do damage. So anytime that we deal damage with the weapon ability, we heal for 642. It's not a lot, but it is nice because there's not a lot of things in the game that give you healing for doing damage. Okay, so Orc is the way to go. Next, let's talk about the Mundus. We are still using Warrior. Again, increasing our healing, also increasing our damage. And since we are in medium armor, we gain 15% additional weapon damage. This used to be 12%, now it's 15%, which is kind of nice. The disparity between heavy armor and medium armor has definitely been shrinking, but it's still there. Let's talk about the food. You can use two foods. I recommend using Artaeum. Where is it? Artaeum Takeaway Broth is currently the best food. Dubious Cameron Throne got nerfed a little bit. So if you have the money to spend for Artaeum, I would definitely recommend it. If you don't have the money, what you can do is you can use Lava Foot. So this gives you max dam and a crap ton of recovery. I would definitely recommend Lava Foot over Dubious Cameron Throne. So if you have your attributes the way that I do, 19 in health, 45 in stamina, Dubious will give you about 800 more health, whereas Lava Foot will give you 200 more stamina recovery. So the trade-off is that if you look at a set piece, 200 stamina recovery is more than a single set bonus, right? At 129, where 800 health is actually less than a single set bonus at 1206. So it's more stat efficient to go Lava Foot if you want to save some gold. So that's the food. If you are going to be using Artaeum, I recommend that you do not go 19 in health and you just go full 64 in stamina. Okay, next let's talk about the skills. So the first thing that you'll notice is we are using the bear. I'm going to explain the bear in a lot of depth and why we're using it, but the primary reason is because this ability here, Nature's Embrace. This ability now scales with our highest resource, which is very, very strong, and we'll get into why later, but we have a lot of healing on this build with just this ability. Okay, let's talk about all the skills and we'll go in order. So we have Subterranean Assault. This patch is now blockable. You do notice a dip in damage, but you also notice that you're able to decrease people's stamina a lot faster now. And you know, I've done a lot of dueling with this build, and yeah, good players can block Subterranean and Assault, but you're not always going to be blocking it. Nobody is able to block this every 3 seconds with all the animations that are going to be going on. It's just not going to happen. So when you do land it and somebody doesn't block it, make sure that you follow up with your ultimate, which we'll talk about. Other than that, Subterranean Assault, still very strong, still giving Major Fracture for 6 seconds. Great for group, great for solo, you're always going to be running it. Next we have Bird of Prey. This one was changed so that the Magicka, it was basically buffed for Stamina Warden and nerfed for Magicka Warden. So the Magicka cost went down from like 3.2k Magicka to 2.7k. Also the Major Endurance went away, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be getting that from our potion anyways. So it's now a rule breaker in that we gain 6 seconds of Major Expedition, which is pretty good considering that most other people have 4 seconds. And then we also have Minor Berserkers for having it slotted. So we don't have to use this and we gain a good amount of damage. Next we have Heroic Slash, one of the most overloaded abilities in the game. You know, spammable, 60% snare, minor maim, minor heroism, like it's just crazy good. We're using Reverb Bash as our CC. Great for putting pressure on someone with Major Defile. You can also spam this on someone every 4 seconds, even if they have CC immunity, just to apply that Major Defile. It's very strong for keeping somebody... When you're fighting somebody with low healing, you'll notice that you need to abuse that by spamming Reverb Bash on them every 4 seconds. Very good. Next we have the only stamina burst heal in the game, Soothing Spores. We have a lot of healing with this build, and I don't have to use this ability that often, but when I do, it's definitely good because we gain Major Mending from using... what is it? So if we cast it underneath 40% health, we gain Major Mending. And so you should only be casting this when you are below 40% health. Also, you don't want to be spamming it a whole lot. Oh, what the hell? Sorry, something opened up that shouldn't have. Okay, next up we have the back bar. Well, we have the bear, which I'll talk about. The back bar, we have armor buff, giving us minor protection as well. Makes Stamina Warden very tanky, Warden in general very tanky, up there with Stamina DK. Let me drink some water. Next we have our Netch. This was not changed at all in Elsweyr, so it gives us equivalent to 400 Stamina Recovery, and it's also our source of Major Brutality and Major Sorcery. We have Blood Craze. We are using Master Dual Wield. I think Blood Craze is better than Rending Slashes now in Elsweyr. Reason being is that they increase the heal that you get, so you can notice 1334 health every 2 seconds, which is basically 1334 health recovery. It's very strong. Then we have Nature's Embrace. Again, it can scale with your max resource, so it's going to be scaling with Stamina, and then we have Vigor. And then of course you need to double bar your ultimate. So why the bear? You can obviously swing to your bear, and that's going to be giving you that heal. Also, the bear was changed so that it now inherits all the buffs that you get. So you'll notice that my tooltip is 3k. When I cast Major Brutality, it goes up to 3.3k. So it inherits all buffs that we do, and it also inherits our CP. And we'll be going over CP at the end. But it does inherit your CP as well. Now, and the trade-off was that the bear was also nerfed. It was dealing too much damage, it was parsing too high in PvE. So they decreased the damage of the bear by 30%. So in CP, you're pretty much offsetting by the fact that your pet is going to be inheriting your buffs and your CP. So it's basically not a nerf in CP, but it is a slight nerf in no CP where you do not inherit champion points, obviously. Let's talk about how to control the bear. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to keybinds, and you're going to want to bind command pet. I have it as V. I'm going to explain why. So how do you control the bear? I know in most MMOs the bear isn't, you know, most pets in MMOs aren't that easy to control. They're kind of wonky to use. Where in ESO, yeah, they're kind of wonky, but there are some ways to control the pet, which I'm going to show you. So let's talk about how the pet aggroes somebody. So whenever you get pulled into combat, so you can hear the combat music, the pet will aggro. Similarly, if I leave combat, I'm still going to be in combat for a bit. Okay. Similarly, if somebody damages you and pulls you into combat, the bear will attack the first person that pulled you into combat, and it'll stick on that person until you tell it to attack somebody else. I can't demonstrate that since I only have target dummies, but let's say that there's like 3 people about to attack you. The one that attacks you first, pulling you into combat, will aggro your bear. Okay? You can also aggro your bear by holding my V button, which is my command pet, and then I'm going to left click, and you can see that my bear is going to go attack that target over there. It went through the platform, but you can see it's attacking it. And then I can have it come back to this target dummy by pressing the same thing, V and then left click, and my bear will attack this dummy instead. Another way that you can change aggro is simply by heavy attacking. So I'm going to heavy attack this target. I'm going to go over to this one. I'm going to light attack, and notice that my bear stays on that target over there. The way that you can change aggro is by heavy attacking, and now my bear will attack this target. Okay, the final thing about controlling your bear is that if you do your command pet, hold it down and then press right click, your bear will return to you. And even in combat, so like let's say I'm fighting, I can tell my bear to come back to me, even in combat, in case I need to like line of sight or something when I'm fighting multiple people. Okay. Let's talk now the sets. So we have 2 different builds. We have a champion point build and a non-champion point build. First one will be the champion point build. So we have, both of them are going to be 5 medium. Both of them are going to use blood spawn. We have 2 blood spawn, medium in pen, max stam on both. We're using fury on both bars, so it's always going to be active. We have a heavy chest, heavy legs, 3 infused jewelry, 2 stamina recovery, 1 weapon damage. Okay, and that's always going to be active. Then on the front bar only, we have Spriggans. So the way that I have that is I have max stam, max stam, max stam, and it's gloves, belt, boots, and then I have my sword and board. Also on the sword and board, we have max stam and in-pen, and then everything else was in-pen, and then we had tri-stat on the heavy pieces, but not the helmet. The helmet is max stam alone, not tri-stat. And then we have double dot poisons on our dual wield, or on our sword and board rather. They nerfed the enchant so that all one-handed weapons are now half. So you can see I don't get the full weapon damage enchant. So instead on our sword and board bar we need to be using double dot poisons. On the back bar we have master dual wield. Also the enchants were cut in half. It's not as strong as it used to be. But still very strong. It's a huge dot. It's excellent since Stamina Warden doesn't have a lot of sustained damage. Stamina Warden lacks sustained damage, and the thing that's going to be giving you the most sustained damage is Master Dual Wield. So with Master Dual Wield we have good sustained damage. With the bear we have additional sustained damage, and then with the bear ultimate, with a subterranean bear ult, we can do a lot of burst all at once. So we still have good burst. Yeah, so that is the champion point build. Let me show you guys the max stats and the let me show you the fully buffed stats. So I'm not going to be able to show you since I have Blood Spawn and Fury. So I have a website that I've used to show you guys instead. So this will be in the description. This is the CP build. It's exact same, everything is the same, the skills, the food, everything's the same. It's just that we have Blood Spawn procced and we have our Fury fully procced, and then we also have continuous attack, Okay, so we have 28k max health with minor toughness, 11k max magicka, and then we have 34k max stam, 2.5k stamina recovery, 5k weapon damage, 28k spell and physical resist, and then 3250 crit resist. Very, very good stats overall. Also, I want to point out the food. So this is with 36.5 weapon crit is with Major Savagery, and then we're getting that from our potion. However, there's two potions that you can use. So you can use your Major Savagery, health, stamina. It's going to give you 10% more crit, and then the other potion that you can use is you can use these brand new Elsweyr potions that have come out. So it has the same health, stamina, but it also gives you lingering health. So roughly 1k health per second. And then also, when we go back to our post, you can see the tooltips on these abilities. So Nature's Embrace is basically a Vigor. So Vigor lasts 5 seconds, heals you for 17k. Nature's Embrace lasts 10 seconds, heals you for 33k. 17 times 2 is 34, so it's almost a full Vigor, almost. The healing per second, 3.3k. Healing per second, let's do the math here, 17.1 divided by 5. It's 3.42k, so that's about 7k, and then with our potion, with our lingering health potion, that's another 1k healing. So we have 8k incoming heal, tooltip value. We have 8,000 incoming heals every second when we do a Nature's Embrace Vigor. Very, very strong, very, very tanky. Also, of course, you can line of sight around the bear when you're taking a lot of damage. You're going to notice that we do not have a snare removal. I think Orc kind of helps with the fact that we gain 10% speed when we're sprinting, or 12%, 10% speed when we're sprinting. But the reason why I don't have a snare removal is that you could use Race Against Time. I have the other morph, but you could use Race Against Time instead, which gives you 2 seconds of snare removal and 4 seconds of Major Expedition. But the reason why I don't like that is because it costs a lot of stamina. So 2.7, or this is the other morph. The other morph costs 2.9k max magicka. 2.9k magicka, whereas this costs 2.7k magicka, and it gives us a longer duration of Major Expedition. Whereas Race Against Time, 2 seconds of snare removal isn't really a whole lot. You're going to have to be spamming that a lot, and you're going to be running yourself out of magicka, where you need to be saving your magicka for Nature's Embrace, which costs 4,000 magicka. Our armor buff also costs 4,000 magicka, and our Bird of Prey costs 2.7k. So if you're using your buffs wisely and you're not overriding them, it's just the perfect amount of magicka, 11k, which is our pool in CP. It's the perfect amount. It's all that we need. No more, no less. Now, in no CP, obviously our max magicka gets dropped a bit, and we have to switch our build a little bit. So in no CP, we still have Bloodspawn, and we still have Spriggan, or I'm sorry. Yeah, we still have Spriggans. This time we have it on the jewelry. So we have 1 protective stamina recovery, 1 infused stamina recovery, and then 1 infused weapon damage. Now you can also use another infused stamina recovery if you want. I switch between these often depending on what I'm doing. If I'm in like a duel or a smaller group scenario, I'll tend to use the protective. If I am 1vxing, I'll tend to use the extra stamina recovery. You can also use triple protective, you can use triple infused, you can go 1 infused, 2 protective, any combination works. The best jewelry traits right now are infused and protective, so you want to have those. The other set that we've replaced is we've replaced Fury. We now have Shacklebreaker. So we need that max magicka because we have a lot of magicka costing abilities. Our Netch also, or our Nature's Embrace also is 4k, and our armor buff is 4k. So we need that max magicka in no CP, where we kind of get it in CP just by having our points spec'd into champion points. So we have Shackle Breaker. Shackle Breaker is a great set, very stat loaded set. It's not the best for damage, but if you need magicka, it's the best way to get it. Also gives us a bit of stamina recovery in there, which is kind of nice because we can run more protective pieces if we want. So the way that I have that set up is I have try enchant chest, try enchant legs, both of them are heavy. Then I have medium stamina in pen gloves, medium stamina in pen belt, medium stamina in pen boots. So I have 5 on the body Shackle Breaker, and then I have the jewelry switched out. Other than that, we still have sword and board, still have our double dot poison, still have max stamina on the shield as well as in pen, and then we have Master Dual again on the back bar. Let's talk about these enchants real quick. So the reason why I used poisoned and flame is that with poison you can proc an additional bleed through the status effect. Same thing with the flame enchant, we can apply burning on somebody with the status effect. And in doing so, you're basically adding more pressure, more sustained damage, which Stamina Warden already lacks. So that's why I have these. Also something to keep in mind when you're 1vxing is that you want to be applying Heroic Slash on multiple opponents, and you also want to be applying Blood Craves on multiple opponents. That way you're applying Minor Maim on everybody, and you're also getting this heal back, 1357 per target. So you can use this on an infinite number of targets and get back a lot of health that way. Of course, if you can do that. Sometimes you're just going to line of sight and run. Anyways, let me show you guys the no CP max stats. So this will also be in the description for no CP. You can see here no CP. Everything is the same. You know, the skills, the build, the jewelry, everything is the same. The skills are the same. The only thing that's changed is CP is not enabled. And you can see our max stats. This is fully buffed. We have Blood Spawn procced, and then we also have continuous attack. There it is. So fully buffed, we have 22k health, 11.2k magicka, which is equivalent to what we had in CP. In CP we had 11k, in no CP we have 11.3k. Our max stamina, almost 30k. Stamina recovery, 2.35, not bad for no CP. Also keep in mind that our net is giving us 400 stamina recovery. Our weapon damage, 3.850. Pretty good. Keep in mind that we have Spriggans on the front bar, which isn't calculated in there. So we're going to be hitting really hard. Even with the CP build, this 5k weapon damage doesn't include Spriggans. And you can see we have a 12k tooltip on there already. So with Spriggans, that's going to be hitting really hard. Anyways, back to the max stats for the no CP. 28k resists, not bad. And then, yeah. Those are the builds. Anything else I want to talk about? With Subterranean Assault being blockable, what you can do to help out is by animation cancelling it. So you can do a dodge roll Subterranean, very discreet. You can also do a bar swap Subterranean, very discreet as well. And then you can do a block cancel Subterranean. So if you notice that somebody is blocking your Subterraneans a lot, try doing any one of those 3 to help you out in making it more discreet, that way they don't see it coming. That is the build. I really like the bear playstyle. It makes you very tanky with Nature's Embrace, and also you can line of sight around it. Everybody knows how annoying pets are to deal with. And once you figure out how to use it, so I'm going to make it attack that dummy over there, and then I'm going to make it come back. Once you figure out how to use it properly like that, you'll be very strong and very efficient in using your bear. Anything else I want to say? Nope, that's all. Okay, so I am broadcasting this on twitch.tv/timedazzler. I'd really appreciate it if you left a follow. I do stream every once in a while. There may be future Stamina Warden builds in the future, depending on what ZeniMax changes, so make sure that you subscribe, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.